Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome again to the southern wing of the Stink Bug Works. Today, while I drink my coffee, I'm going to share stories of Doug Campbell, the classic hydro, and my viewers. Many years ago, I built this boat to race in LSH, limited spec hydroplane. Now, LSH required that you run a speed 700 motor, and it was either 12 or 14 round cells. I think the rules were 12, and for fun running, we'd run 14. But you'd run these on 12 round cells in a speed 700 motor. And they were pretty quick. It's not a small boat. It's 25 inches long. So, it moved along at a good 40 mile an hour. I think I GPS'd it at 42. And that's not bad for what it is. Anyhow, they changed the rules in limited spec hydro, and they allowed lipos and brushless motors. And at that time, Aquacraft had introduced the SV27, which was a 27-inch mono V-hull, and it was a pretty darn good boat. It was real popular. Anyway, they allowed that power system in here, and for a while I ran it on the SV27 motor and 4S lipos, and it ran pretty good. It was right up there with the Speed 700. It was a minuscule better, but the longevity and the efficiency were much better. You could get much longer run times and such. So then this thing just sat up on the shelf for a while because it was almost too big to run at Santee. And then I got involved with other things and didn't run boats at all for many years. So in the last video, I mentioned that it could be amongst 3 projects to work on in the future. Well, just for the heck of it, I pulled this thing down from its resting place, and I chiseled some dust off of old Chuck here. Chuck's looking a little thin. Chuck was a big, stocky guy. He looks a little thin here. Anyway, chiseled the dust off of old Chuck, and I'd already stuck a motor in there, but I hadn't done any work on cooling and such because this motor had nipples that just came straight out from it. And so I finally got these cool little banjo nipples that I could make a real clean water route that just came in here and out. Just, a piece, and the longest piece is that long. So there you have it. I'm running, get a load of this, get a load of what I'm running. I'm running he says 1312, but I think it's really a 14 or 1512. Anyway, it's a 36 millimeter motor can, and Steve made some motors using that can because there were certain classes that required this diameter can. So his larger can, he uses larger laminations in the stator. That's where he gets the increase in efficiency. So these smaller motors aren't quite as efficient as his bigger motors. But, the price was right. Steve had a giveaway on some of these. And so the KV is right in the same range as the original SV27 motor. This one is 1850 kV. So it's right there. It'll run 4S. It'll turn this Octura 642 that's been detongued. It turns that prop real well, or it should turn that prop real well. This is pretty much the specs of that SV27 motor. So I'm expecting performance like the SV27, which is more than adequate for Santee Lakes. This thing starts running on a pond real quick. So it'll get a modern receiver in it. It's running Joe Solinger hardware. Now, I'm willing to bet most of you never even heard of Joe Solinger. He made some really cool hardware back in the day. So that's Joe Solinger's hardware. There it is. So I'm looking at this thing. There's really nothing to get it running other than soldering some connectors onto the motor, some heat shrink, and some batteries. I still have the original batteries that I ran in here, and they still hold a charge. So, but they're using connectors that I'm no longer. They're using 4mm connectors, and I've since switched over to XT connectors just to be consistent with everything that's available. So there it is, boys and girls. It's the classic hydro from Doug Campbell. Steve Vaccaro at Offshore Electrics used to sell these kits. He still sells, excuse me, or has listed for sale on his website other Doug Campbell kits, but they're all out of stock. I do have one of the very early preceding this one, probably first run of Doug Campbell hydros. There's some differences. You notice the cowl. This one, there's actually a molded in motor underneath the cowl, and the cowl comes off. This is it's just that. And whereas this was a solid opening, this has, I believe, a little bridge across here where this motor mount would be. And they give you a transom doubler, a turn fin doubler, and a carbon fiber rod. That was the early, because guys were building race boats out of these vacuum-formed plastic hulls, a lot of them from Electric Thunder. Electric Thunder did those 1/16th scale ones that were really popular. When would that have been? That would have been the 1993, 94, 95 era in Washington, up in the Tri-Cities area. And there were guys there that built some really nice and really fast boats using these vacuum-formed hulls. Now, this one, I'm either going to give to Sam if Sam wants it for his prize in the 1/20th scale challenge, or if Sam wants something else, I'll make this a prize in the, I got to put away this Shinola pile in my long, hard shaft challenge. So this will be a prize in the long, hard shaft challenge. In addition to the prize that's on its way. There's a prize on its way. So there you go, boys and girls. I threw out 3 options for projects upcoming. Finish this Do another hydroplane like the American Spirit, only smaller, or finish up the vacuum-formed Grotner Systems catamaran. Anyway, boys and girls, until next time, jet out.